Ryan stepped out of the small shuttle and looked around. The sky was a soft purple, filled with clouds that glowed at the edges. The ground was a deep red and strange flowers grew everywhere. He took a slow breath. This was not Earth, but it was going to be his new home for at least a year. His heart beat faster with a mix of nerves and excitement. He worked as a technician, fixing machines and making sure everything worked right. The human and alien governments had started a project together to share knowledge and help each other. Ryan was part of the first group of humans to work so close with the aliens. He wanted to do well, but he was not sure what to expect. His first day was a blur. Ryan met the other humans, only 5 in total, and then met the group of aliens who would be working with them. The aliens looked almost human, but had pale blue skin and eyes that seemed to shine. Their hair was silver and soft, and most of them wore simple clothes with long sashes. Ryan's main guide was an alien girl named Mila. She was quiet at first, but he could see a strong will in her eyes. Mila showed Ryan around the work center. She pointed out the labs, the living quarters, and the gardens where the aliens grew food. Everything was neat and quiet. The alien city did not have cars or loud machines. People walked everywhere, and the air always smelled fresh and sweet. Mila spoke in soft English, but her words were careful. She said, "We value loyalty most. Our queen teaches that loyalty is what keeps us safe. You must remember this." Ryan nodded, even if he did not fully understand. He tried to remember every detail, not wanting to make mistakes. He noticed that every alien he met bowed their head when they spoke about the queen. It was a sign of respect, and Ryan started doing it too. He finished his first day by fixing a water pump in the garden. Mila watched him work, sometimes asking questions about his tools or earth machines. Ryan was glad for the simple talk. At dinner, the humans and aliens ate together in a large hall. The food was different: soft bread, red fruits, and small roasted animals, but it tasted better than he expected. That night, Ryan lay on his bed and stared at the strange stars outside his window. He missed home already, but he promised himself he would try his best. The next day started with a meeting. Mila explained that the queen wanted all the humans to follow the rules of the land. She said, "The queen trusts new friends, but she must see your loyalty." One of the humans, Claire, whispered to Ryan, "This place is so quiet. Do you think the queen will come see us?" Ryan shrugged. He had no idea what the queen was really like. Over the next week, Ryan and Mila worked together on many small jobs. Mila grew more friendly, sometimes laughing at Ryan's jokes or telling him stories about her people. She told him about her childhood, how she had studied hard to be chosen as a guide for humans. Ryan shared stories of growing up on Earth, about cold winters and summer baseball games. They learned from each other, and Ryan felt less alone. Sometimes, Ryan felt that the aliens watched him closely. He wondered if they expected him to do something wrong. He remembered what Mila said about loyalty. One night, while walking back to his room, he saw a group of aliens bowing before a tall screen that showed the queen's face. The queen had sharp eyes and a calm voice. She spoke to her people through the screen, telling them to stay true and help their human friends. Mila said, "Our queen is wise. She wants peace, but she cannot trust easily." One afternoon, Ryan and Mila went to the market for supplies. Alien children ran past, laughing. Vendors sold bright fruits and soft blue claws. Mila bought a small flower and gave it to Ryan. "For luck," she said. Ryan smiled and put it in his pocket. Later that day, Mila said something that made Ryan pause. She told him, "The queen may ask something special from you. She will want to see true loyalty." "It is important." Ryan felt a chill. "What does she mean by loyalty?" he asked. Mila hesitated. "For us, loyalty is not just words. It is something you show with your heart and your actions. Sometimes our people prove it with deep bonds. Even mating sometimes." She looked away, embarrassed. Ryan blinked, surprised. "Like romance?" he asked, unsure if he heard right. Mila nodded. "Sometimes, yes, but not always in the way you think. For us, it is a promise to stand by someone, no matter what." Ryan felt nervous. He never expected this kind of test. Is this what the Queen wants from me? Milla gave a small smile. I do not know yet, but you should be ready. That night, Ryan thought about what loyalty really meant. He remembered his grandfather, who always said loyalty was sticking with family and friends, even in hard times. Ryan wanted to prove he was trustworthy, but he was not sure how to show it in this strange place. As days passed, Ryan became closer to Milla. They shared more stories. Sometimes they walked in the garden after work. Ryan learned to enjoy the quiet life, the gentle pace of the alien city, and the kindness of the people. But he could still feel the pressure building. The Queen was watching. Everyone was waiting to see what he would do. One morning, Milla came to his room looking worried. She said, "The Queen has called you to the palace. She wishes to meet you." In person, Ryan's heart pounded. He tried to hide his fear. Do you know what she wants? Milla shook her head. She wants to see if you can be trusted. You must show respect. You must be honest. Claire met Ryan at the palace gate. We'll go together, she said. It's probably just a welcome. Right? Ryan nodded, but he did not feel sure. The palace was large and bright, made of white stone and silver glass. Guards stood outside, but they did not look angry. Instead, they smiled and nodded as Ryan and Claire walked inside with Milla. Inside the palace, everything was clean and quiet. Walls glowed with soft blue light. They waited in a long hall, and Ryan saw other humans and aliens waiting too. Everyone looked nervous. Milla touched Ryan's arm. Remember, loyalty is most important. Just be yourself. At last, the Queen entered. She was tall and graceful, with the same pale blue skin as the others. Her hair was long and silver, and her eyes seemed to shine brighter than the sun. She wore a blue gown with a long sash. Ryan felt like he was looking at someone both kind and powerful at the same time. The Queen welcomed everyone with a calm voice. She spoke about friendship, peace, and the hope for a better future. Then she looked right at Ryan. Her eyes were sharp, but not unkind. She said, "You are new here. You come from a world we do not know. Tell me, what does loyalty mean to humans?" Ryan thought for a moment. Then he answered, "Loyalty means standing with someone, helping them, and not leaving when things get hard. It means keeping your word." The Queen nodded slowly. "Your answer is good. But here, loyalty must be shown, not just spoken. You will be tested, Ryan." Ryan felt everyone's eyes on him. He nodded. "I understand." Milla stood beside him. The Queen looked at both of them and said, "We will see if your heart is true. Our people and yours must trust each other. Only then can there be peace." As the meeting ended, Ryan felt a new weight on his shoulders. He knew this was just the beginning. But as he walked out of the palace with Milla by his side, he told himself he would not let fear decide for him. He would find a way to prove his loyalty, no matter what it took. Ryan woke up early the next morning, his mind full of worry and questions. The meeting with the Queen had changed everything. He could feel the weight of her words, and now he knew that everyone would be watching him. The soft purple light came through his window, and he could hear distant sounds from the alien city. He got dressed slowly, trying to clear his head. But nothing helped. At breakfast, Ryan found Claire sitting at a long table with the other humans. The food was the same as before: soft bread, fruits, and a warm drink that tasted like honey. Claire looked tired. She whispered, "Everyone's talking about you and Milla. They think the Queen has big plans." Ryan tried to smile. "I just want to do my work," he said. But deep down he was nervous. He did not know what would happen next. He saw Milla across the room, talking to two other aliens. She seemed serious. But when she saw Ryan, she walked over to him with a gentle smile. "The Queen wants to see you again," Milla said. "She has called for a loyalty trial. You are not alone. Other humans will also be tested, but your trial will be special." Ryan did not know what to say. "What kind of trial?" Milla shook her head. "I do not know the details. But the Queen believes only true bonds can prove trust. She thinks you and I have a connection. She wants to see how strong it is." Claire gave Ryan a worried look. "Just be careful, okay? These people are friendly, but their rules are strange." Ryan nodded. He finished his food, but he barely tasted anything. Soon, Milla led him to the garden outside the work center. The air was cool, and small blue birds sang in the trees. Milla walked slowly, and Ryan followed, feeling unsure. Milla stopped. By a small pond, she looked at Ryan with serious eyes. Our people do not trust easily. When we give loyalty, it is forever. The Queen wants to know if you can do the same. Ryan thought about his family back home. He remembered times when he stood by his friends during hard days. He wondered if that was the same thing Milla's people felt. How do you show loyalty? Ryan asked. Milla smiled softly. We stand with someone even when it is hard. Sometimes we form a bond, like a promise. Sometimes the bond is so strong that it becomes like family or even more. Ryan blushed. Do you mean romance? Milla looked away. Yes, sometimes, for us, bonding is special. It means we trust someone with our heart. Ryan's heart beat faster. What if I fail? Milla shook her head. It is not about passing or failing. It is about being honest. If you are true, that is enough. Ryan felt a little better. He sat by the pond, watching the water move. Milla sat beside him. For a while, neither of them spoke. Soon, Milla stood up. Come, the Queens. Trial will begin soon. We must go. On the way to the palace, Milla told Ryan more about her world. She said the Queen was both loved and feared. Her word was law, but she cared for her people. Ryan listened closely, wanting to understand. When they reached the palace, he saw the other humans and their alien guides waiting too. Everyone was quiet. Inside, the hall was filled with soft blue light. The Queen sat on a high seat, looking down at everyone. She raised her hand, and the room fell silent. Her voice was calm. Today you will show your loyalty. This is not a game. Only truth will matter. The Queen looked at each human. She asked simple questions. Why did you come here? What does trust mean to you? What would you do for your friends? Ryan answered honestly. He told her he wanted to help, to learn, and to make new friends. He said that trust meant being there, even when it was hard. He could feel the Queen's eyes studying him when it was Ryan's turn for the special trial. The Queen called Milla to stand with him. Your bond is new, but it feels strong, she said. To prove loyalty, you must face the unknown together. Milla looked at Ryan. He could see fear and hope in her eyes. The Queen led them to a quiet room. She told them, Here, you must show your hearts. Speak honestly. Share your fears and dreams. Only then can trust grow. The door closed. Ryan and Milla sat together on soft cushions. For a moment, neither spoke. Finally, Ryan started. He told Milla about his childhood, about his family and the farm where he grew up. He shared his worries about failing, about not fitting in, about feeling alone on a strange world. Milla listened. She reached out and took his hand, her skin cool and gentle. She told Ryan about her people, about training hard to be chosen for this project, and about the fear of letting down her queen. She admitted she had never felt this kind of bond before. She was scared, but also hopeful. For a long time they shared their stories. Sometimes Ryan laughed, sometimes Milla cried. They talked about their dreams for the future. Ryan said he wanted to find a place where he belonged. Milla said she wanted peace between their peoples. Slowly, something changed between them. Ryan felt a new trust growing. Milla's eyes were warm, and he knew she felt it too. They sat together. In silence, feeling closer than before. After what felt like hours, the Queen opened the door. She looked at them, her face calm. You have shown honesty, but words are only the beginning. Will you stand together in the days ahead? Ryan nodded. Yes, I will. Milla nodded too. Yes, I will. The Queen smiled for the first time. Then your trial has begun. Now you must prove your loyalty through action. You will work together on a special task. Succeed and your bond will be true. That afternoon, Ryan and Milla returned to the work center. Milla looked tired but happy. Ryan felt a strange new energy. Claire met them outside. What happened? She asked. Ryan told her about the trial. Claire listened, her eyes wide. Do you think you can do it? Ryan nodded. I think so. We just have to be honest and help each other. That night, Milla and Ryan talked in the garden. Milla said, "I am afraid, but I am also glad." "I have never trusted someone so quickly," Ryan smiled. "Me too." As the days passed, Ryan and Milla worked on the Queen's special task. They were asked to repair an old water system that provided clean water to both humans and aliens. The job was hard. The pipes were deep underground and the tools were strange to Ryan. Milla helped him understand the alien technology, and Ryan taught her some tricks he had learned on Earth. One day, the water pump broke and water flooded the tunnel. Ryan shouted for help, and Milla rushed in to pull him out. They laughed, soaked, but safe. Ryan realized that working together was not always easy, but it was worth it. Word spread through the city about Ryan and Milla's teamwork. Some aliens were surprised, others seemed impressed. The Queen watched from afar, sending messages to check on their progress. As the project went on, Ryan and Milla faced new challenges. One night, a group of machines failed, and they worked late into the dark hours to fix everything before dawn. Another time, an alien elder questioned Ryan's skills, but Milla stood up for him, saying, "He is loyal and true." Ryan thanked Milla. He told her, "I would do the same for you." Their bond grew stronger each day. Sometimes, when they finished work, they walked through the gardens together. They talked about their dreams, their fears, and the strange feeling of growing close on a world far from home. One evening, as the sun set, Milla stopped and looked at Ryan. "Do you think we can pass the Queen's trial?" Ryan took her hand. "If we trust each other, I think we can do anything." Milla smiled, and together they watched the sky turn from purple to deep blue. They knew the hardest part was still ahead, but for now, they were not alone. Their loyalty was real, and together they would face whatever came next. The next day, Ryan woke before sunrise. He lay quietly, thinking about everything that had happened. The Queen's words stayed with him. The trial was not just a test for him and Milla, but for all the humans and aliens hoping for peace. He wanted to make everyone proud. After washing and dressing, Ryan stepped outside. The sky was pale, and the city was just waking up. He saw workers heading to their jobs, aliens talking softly in groups, and children running in the gardens. Milla waited for Ryan near the entrance to the work center. She greeted him with a gentle smile. "Are you ready for another busy day?" she asked. Ryan smiled back. "I think so. Let's do our best." They started their work in the tunnels under the city. Ryan held a small flashlight and Milla carried a bag of tools. The pipes they needed to fix were old and leaking. The water made the stones slippery. Milla showed Ryan how to move carefully. Together they fixed cracks and cleaned the filters. When they finished, they sat down on the cool floor and shared some fruit. Milla told Ryan more about her people's traditions. She said, "Loyalty is not just for the Queen. It is for friends and family too. When you trust someone, you are never truly alone." Ryan listened. He thought about his family back on Earth. He missed them, but now he felt like he was building something new here with Milla and the others. He told her about holidays at home, and Milla laughed at his story of burning a Thanksgiving turkey by mistake. She shared her own story about a celebration with her sisters where they danced and sang all night. These moments made them feel closer. The day grew long and tiring. Late in the afternoon, a message came from the Queen's assistant. Ryan and Milla were invited to the palace for a meeting. Ryan felt a mix of worry and excitement. Milla squeezed his hand gently. "We will face this together," she said. They cleaned up and walked through the city to the palace. The white stone building shone in the sunlight. Guards opened the doors, and inside everything was quiet. The Queen waited in a bright hall, surrounded by her advisors. The air felt serious, but the Queen smiled as they entered. She spoke kindly. "Ryan and Milla, your work has been watched. You have helped each other and the city. This is good. But to complete your trial, you must face something more." The Queen told them there was a group of alien children lost outside the city. A sudden storm had hit, and the children were trapped in the hills. It was too dangerous for most to go, but the Queen believed that Ryan and Milla, together, could help. Ryan's heart pounded, but he nodded. "We'll do it," he said. Milla agreed. We will bring them home. Ryan and Milla left the palace. Right away. They gathered supplies, ropes, blankets, food, and a small medical kit. The city gates opened and they stepped into the wild land beyond. The wind was strong and dark clouds moved across the sky. Ryan wrapped his jacket tight, and Milla pulled her hood up. Together they followed the path toward the hills, using a map given by the Queen's guard. The land was rough. Rocks and strange plants covered the ground. Rain started to fall, cold and sharp. Ryan kept his eyes open, looking for any sign of the children. Milla called out in her own language. Her voice echoed across the empty fields. After an hour, they heard faint cries. Ryan hurried ahead, slipping on the wet grass. In a small hollow, they found 4 alien children huddled together under a rock. They looked tired and scared. Milla spoke to them softly, and their eyes brightened. Ryan handed out food and blankets. One of the children had a hurt leg. Ryan used the medical kit to clean and wrap the wound. As the storm grew stronger, Ryan and Milla knew they had to get the children home fast. The hills were slippery and the wind nearly pushed them over. Milla led the way, carrying the smallest child on her back. Ryan carried the one with the hurt leg, holding him tight against the rain. The path was hard. Several times, Ryan nearly fell. His arms ached, but he refused to give up. He talked to the children, telling them stories of Earth and making them laugh. Milla sang a quiet song to calm them. Together, they made their way step by step through the storm. At one point, a sudden flash of lightning hit a tree nearby. Everyone jumped in fear. Milla lost her footing and slipped down a small slope. Ryan saw her fall and rushed to help. He put the child down and ran to Milla. She was hurt, her ankle twisted. Ryan helped her up, worry clear on his face. Milla tried to stand, but the pain was too much. Ryan looked at the children and then at Milla. He made a decision. He gave his own jacket to the children and then lifted Milla onto his back. "I won't leave you," he said. "We'll all go together." It was slow going. Ryan carried Milla and guided the children. His body ached and his legs felt weak, but he kept moving. The storm finally started to calm as they reached the city gates. Guards rushed out to help, taking the children and Milla inside. Ryan dropped to his knees, out of breath but smiling. They had made it. Inside the palace, the Queen and her advisors waited. The children were safe, and Milla was treated by the city healers. Ryan sat by her side, holding her hand. The Queen entered and knelt down to look at them. She said, "Your actions have shown true loyalty. You risked everything to help others. This is what our people value." Milla's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, Ryan." "I could not have done it without you," Ryan smiled. "We did it together." As the days passed, Ryan and Milla became heroes in the city. Everyone spoke of their bravery. The humans and aliens both came to thank them. The Queen invited them to many meals, and people cheered when they walked through the market. Ryan felt proud, but he stayed humble. He knew the most important thing was not the praise, but the trust he had built with Milla and the people. Milla healed slowly. Ryan visited her every day. He brought her flowers from the garden and told her stories to make her smile. They talked about the future. Ryan said, "I never thought I would find a home so far from Earth, but now I think I belong here." Milla reached out and took his hand. "I want you to stay. You are part of my family now." One evening, as the sun set, the Queen called Ryan and Milla to the palace again. This time, the meeting was in a small, quiet room. The Queen thanked them for their courage. She said, "Your bond is strong. You have shown our people what loyalty means. Now you must choose your own path." Milla looked at Ryan. "I choose to trust you. Will you stay by my side?" Ryan's heart filled with happiness. "Yes, I will." The Queen smiled and placed a gentle hand on their shoulders. "Then you are no longer just visitors. You are leaders for both our peoples. Together you will build something new." As they left the palace, Ryan and Milla walked side by side under the stars. Their journey was not over, but they knew they could face whatever came next together with loyalty and trust. Ryan spent the next days caring for Milla while she healed. Every morning, he brought her breakfast in her small room near the city gardens. He picked bright fruits and soft bread, the things she liked best. Sometimes Milla could walk a little, but her ankle was still sore. Ryan helped her sit outside in the warm sun, where they listened to the city waking up. Birds sang and alien children played in the distance. For Ryan, these moments were peaceful and full of hope. One day, Milla said, "Thank you for not leaving me during the storm. You showed me real loyalty. I will never forget it." Ryan smiled and shook his head. "I just did what anyone should do for a friend. You would have done the same for me." Milla nodded, her eyes shining. As Milla got stronger, Ryan returned to his daily work. He fixed machines with Claire and the other humans. The aliens watched him more kindly now. Many smiled or stopped to thank him for saving the children. Even the alien elders who had been unsure about humans spoke warmly to him. Ryan felt proud but also humble. He remembered his grandfather's words about loyalty and kindness. Milla soon joined Ryan again for work. She moved carefully but was happy to help. Together, they started teaching others what they had learned. Milla showed the aliens how Ryan fixed things with patience. Ryan taught the humans how to speak a few words in the alien language. Everyone laughed and learned together. Walls between the two groups slowly began to fade. One afternoon, the Queen sent a message. She invited Ryan and Milla to a special dinner in the palace. Ryan felt nervous as he dressed in the simple, clean clothes Milla helped him choose. He saw himself in the mirror and barely recognized the man he was before he came to this world. The palace was bright and full of music. Long tables were covered with foods from both worlds. Aliens and humans sat side by side, sharing stories. The Queen watched everything, her eyes gentle. When she saw Ryan and Milla enter, she stood and welcomed them herself. "Tonight we celebrate new bonds and true loyalty," she said. "Let us eat as one people." During the meal, the Queen called Ryan and Milla to sit beside her. She asked them about their dreams for the future. Ryan answered honestly, "I want peace and trust between our peoples. I want to learn from each other. I hope to find a home here." Milla agreed, saying, "I want to build a bridge between our worlds so no one will feel alone." The Queen smiled. "Your wishes are good, but peace takes more than words. You must show your loyalty in the choices you make each day." Later that night, Milla and Ryan walked in the palace garden. They talked about the dinner and about the Queen's words. Milla said, "Sometimes I am still afraid. What if old anger comes back? What if people stop trusting each other?" Ryan took her hand gently. "We can only do our best, Milla. We have to keep showing what real loyalty looks like, even if it is hard." Milla nodded, comforted by his words. Over the next weeks, Ryan and Milla worked on many projects together. They repaired the city's broken lights. They helped build new homes for families. Sometimes there were arguments between humans and aliens, or small accidents. Each time, Ryan and Milla tried to solve things with patience and honesty. They reminded everyone that trust had to be built every day. Claire often helped too. She had become friends with an alien boy named Silas. One day, Claire told Ryan, "I think the Queen is testing us all the time, but maybe that's a good thing. It keeps us honest." Ryan agreed. He liked how everyone was growing closer even, though it was not always easy. One morning, Ryan and Milla were asked to speak at a city gathering. Hundreds of humans and aliens sat in the open square, waiting for them. Ryan felt his nerves return, but Milla squeezed his hand and smiled. "Just tell the truth," she whispered. Ryan stepped forward. He spoke about coming to a new world, about being afraid, and about learning what loyalty meant. He talked about the night of the storm and how working together had saved the children. "Loyalty is standing by each other, even when it's hard," he said. "It's sharing hopes, helping friends, and never giving up." Milla spoke next. She thanked everyone for welcoming the humans. She shared her hope for a future where everyone helped each other. "We are not so different," she said. "If we trust and care for one another, we can be one people." The crowd cheered for them both. After the gathering, the Queen invited Ryan and Milla to a quiet room in the palace. There, she spoke to them alone. You have done well, the Queen said, but there is still one part of the trial left. To prove loyalty, you must open your hearts completely. You must show trust in the deepest way. Ryan looked at Milla, unsure what the Queen meant. Milla's cheeks turned a pale purple. She whispered, I think she means the bonding ritual. Ryan's face grew warm. Are you ready for that? Milla nodded slowly. If you are. The Queen gave them time to think. She said, bonding is not a command, it is a choice. Only true trust can make it real. That evening, Ryan and Milla sat together in the garden. The stars shone above them. Milla said softly, I trust you, Ryan. I have never felt this close to anyone, Ryan smiled. I trust you too, Milla. You are my best friend. They talked. Late into the night, Milla explained the bonding ritual was not just about romance. It was about sharing everything, hopes, fears, even secrets. It was about making a promise to stand by each other, no matter what happened next. For her people, it was the deepest sign of loyalty. Ryan thought about his life. He had come to this world looking for something new. Now he realized he had found it not in a place but in a person. He wanted to be brave, for Milla and for himself. The next day, Ryan and Milla told the Queen they were ready for the bonding ritual. The Queen smiled and arranged everything. The whole city was invited to witness it. On the day of the ritual, the city square was decorated with flowers and colored banners. Humans and aliens gathered, whispering with excitement. The Queen stood before them all and spoke of peace, trust, and loyalty. She called Ryan and Milla forward. Milla and Ryan stood side by side. Milla spoke first. She shared her story, her fears, and her hope for the future. Ryan did the same. Together they promised to stand by each other and their two peoples to build a new future based on trust. The Queen blessed their bond, and the crowd cheered. As the sun set, Ryan and Milla walked through the city together. They were tired but happy. Their friends congratulated them. Claire gave them both a hug. I knew you could do it, she said. That night, Ryan and Milla sat quietly under the stars, holding hands. They knew their journey was not over. There would still be challenges and days of doubt. But now they faced the future together, their loyalty proven in every choice they made. After the bonding ritual, Ryan and Milla felt closer than ever before. Their days were busy but happy. The people of the city treated them with respect, and many wanted to learn from their example. Ryan no longer felt like a stranger. He had friends, a purpose, and a new sense of belonging. Milla walked beside him every day, her steps lighter, her smile brighter. The city itself started to change. Humans and aliens worked together more easily now. Mixed teams repaired machines and built new buildings. Children from both worlds played in the gardens and taught each other games. Even the older aliens, who had once been slow to trust, began to welcome the humans with open arms. Ryan saw the hope he had wished for slowly becoming real. One morning, Ryan was asked to help with a big problem. A power station outside the city had broken down, and without it, the city would lose light and water. Milla joined him, along with Claire and Silas. The path to the power station was long, winding through the rocky hills where the storm had once trapped the children. As they walked, Milla squeezed Ryan's hand and said, I know we can do this together. They reached the station and found it in bad shape. Wires were broken and machines were covered in dust. Ryan worked quickly, checking each part while Milla read instructions from an old book written in her language. Claire and Silas gathered tools and helped clear debris. Everyone worked as a team, sometimes laughing, sometimes focused in silence. Suddenly, the ground shook with a loud rumble. A small earthquake rattled the station, sending a few tools clattering to the floor. Ryan's heart raced. He shouted for everyone to stay calm. Cracks formed in the walls, and for a moment it seemed the whole building might fall. Ryan and Milla rushed to shut down the main power lines. Claire and Silas helped hold up a heavy door that threatened to fall. The team worked together, moving with care and speed. Ryan kept giving instructions, and Milla repeated them for Silas and Claire. Finally, the shaking stopped. Dust filled the air, but everyone was safe. The machines were still broken, but Ryan saw a way to fix them. He and Milla worked side by side, tightening bolts, fixing wires, and restarting engines. After hours of hard work, the lights flickered on. Water began to flow again. Cheers rang out, and everyone hugged each other in relief. They hurried back to the city to share the news. When the Queen heard what had happened, she called another gathering in the city square. Everyone came to hear the story. Ryan told how the team had worked together even when they were afraid. Milla explained how trust and quick thinking had saved the day. The Queen smiled and praised their teamwork. Life in the city grew even more hopeful. Ryan and Milla started new projects. They helped plant gardens, set up new water systems, and taught children in both languages. They showed that working together was better than staying apart. The people listened and followed their lead. Sometimes there were still problems. A few humans and aliens argued or made mistakes. But now, people remembered the lessons Ryan and Milla had taught. They tried to fix things with honesty and patience. Every time a problem came up, Ryan thought back to the night of the storm, the trial in the palace, and the bonding ritual. He knew that loyalty and trust were not easy, but they were always worth it. Milla ankle slowly healed. One evening, she asked Ryan to join her at the top of the city's tallest building. They climbed the stairs together, laughing and helping each other along. When they reached the roof, they looked out over the city. Lights glowed in every window. Children played below, and music drifted through the air. Milla took Ryan's hand. "I never dreamed my people would be so close to yours," she said. "Thank you for helping make this happen." Ryan shook his head. "We did it together, Milla. None of this would have happened without you." As they stood on the rooftop, Milla leaned her head on Ryan's shoulder. They watched the stars come out one by one. Ryan remembered his first night on the planet, staring at those same stars and feeling so lost. Now he felt at home. The next day, a new challenge arrived. A group of traders from a faraway land came to the city. They brought strange goods and new ideas, but also rumors and fears. Some of the traders did not trust humans, and some did not trust the aliens. A few started to spread trouble, saying that humans could not be loyal and that aliens should be. Careful. At first, Ryan felt angry. He wanted to shout that they were wrong, but Milla stopped him. "Let's show them who we are," she said. "Not with words, but with actions." Ryan agreed. Together, they invited the traders to join in the city's projects. They asked them to help plant gardens, repair machines, and share meals. Slowly, the traders saw how well humans and aliens worked together. They watched children play together and saw friends laughing side by side. The traders grew curious, then surprised, and finally respectful. One night, after a big dinner with the traders, the Queen asked Ryan and Milla to speak. She said, "Your loyalty has changed our city. Show these new friends what true loyalty means." Ryan told the story of the storm, the lost children, and the day he carried Milla back to safety. He spoke about fear and hope, and about the bond that grew from helping each other. Milla told the traders how humans had taught her to laugh and trust in new ways. "We are stronger together," she said. "We build a better world when we trust and care for each other." The traders listened, and over time their doubts faded. They began to join in the city's work, and soon the whole city felt more connected than ever before. Ryan saw how one act of loyalty could change many lives. Every time he saw someone helping a stranger or sharing a kind word, he felt proud. Milla and Ryan continued to face challenges together. Sometimes they disagreed or made mistakes, but they always forgave each other and tried again. Ryan learned that true loyalty was not just about big heroic acts. It was about small moments, helping with chores, listening when someone was sad, sharing a meal, or staying up late to fix a problem together. As weeks passed, the city grew stronger. Humans and aliens planned a great festival to celebrate the bond between their peoples. Ryan and Milla helped organize everything. They chose music, planned games, and decorated the city square with flowers and colored lights. On the day of the festival, the whole city came together. There were dances, songs, and laughter everywhere. People from faraway places joined in, amazed at the joy and friendship they found. Ryan danced with Milla, smiling as the music played. Claire and Silas joined them, and soon everyone was dancing. Under the bright lights, that night as the festival ended, the Queen stood before everyone and thanked Ryan and Milla for their courage and loyalty. "Because of you," she said, "our worlds are forever changed. You have shown us all the true meaning of loyalty." As the crowd cheered, Ryan looked at Milla and felt happier than he ever had before. They had faced many trials, but together, they had built something beautiful: trust, friendship, and a new family in a place that was once strange and far from home. After the festival, the city felt brighter than ever before. For the first time, Ryan could see hope in everyone's eyes, both human and alien. The streets were clean, children's laughter filled the gardens, and music played almost every evening. Ryan's days passed in a gentle rhythm. He worked with Milla and their friends, fixing machines, planting new gardens, and helping teach young people from both worlds. Every day he learned something new about the aliens, their art, their stories, the way they watched the stars at night. Milla taught Ryan her language, and Ryan shared jokes and memories from Earth. Their friendship grew deeper with each passing day. Milla and Ryan started visiting families in the city, helping those who needed it most. Sometimes they repaired broken machines in someone's home, or brought food to elders who could not walk far. Other times, they simply listened as people shared stories or worries. Ryan learned that showing loyalty was not always about big deeds. Often, it was about small kindnesses, a gentle word, a smile, or just being there for someone who needed. A friend. One morning, the Queen called Ryan and Milla to the palace for a special meeting. Her message was simple: "Come, for it is time to talk of the future." Ryan felt nervous, but Milla gave him a gentle look. "Whatever happens, we will face it together," she said. The palace was full of sunlight. The Queen sat with her advisors, her face calm and wise. She welcomed Ryan and Milla warmly. "You have brought great change to our world," she said. "But change is never finished. Now we must decide what comes next." She explained that other alien worlds had heard about their city. Some sent messages of hope, others of worry. A few were even angry, fearing that humans would bring trouble. "Many eyes are watching us," the Queen said. "If we are to keep our peace, we must show them our loyalty is strong and real." Milla nodded. "We will do whatever we can." Ryan agreed. "We are ready to help." The Queen asked Ryan and Milla to be the first official ambassadors between their peoples. Their job would be to travel, share their story, and help others understand the value of trust and friendship. It was a big task, and Ryan felt the weight of it, but also excitement. He looked at Milla and saw pride in her eyes. "Will you accept this new path?" the Queen asked. Ryan and Milla answered together, "Yes, we will." Over the next days, they prepared for their journey. The whole city helped them. Claire and Silas gathered gifts to take to other worlds: handmade crafts, small machines, books of stories and songs. Children painted pictures and elders wrote letters of welcome. Ryan packed tools and mementos from Earth. Milla braided her hair in a style of her people, and Ryan wore a sash with both human and alien symbols. Before leaving, they visited the city gardens one last time. Ryan picked a single bright flower, like the one Milla had given him when they first met. He handed it to her, smiling. "For luck again," he said. Milla laughed softly, her eyes bright. The day of departure arrived. The city square filled with people. The Queen spoke to everyone. "We send Ryan and Milla with hope. Let them show other worlds what true loyalty looks like." Ryan hugged Claire and shook hands with Silas. Everyone wished them well. Milla's sisters gave her a soft blue scarf to remind her of home. Ryan promised the children he would bring back stories and gifts from faraway places. Ryan and Milla traveled by spaceship, guided by the Queen's best pilots. Their first stop was a planet called Solon, where people had pale green skin and large golden eyes. At first, the Solon people were cautious. They asked many questions and watched Ryan and Milla closely. Some doubted humans could be trusted. Ryan remembered what Milla had taught him: listen first, speak honestly, and always show kindness. Milla and Ryan worked with the Solon people, helping repair old machines and planting new gardens. They shared meals, sang songs, and played games. With Solon children, slowly, trust grew. By the time they left, the Solon leaders thanked them and sent gifts back to the Queen Dot as they traveled to other worlds. Ryan and Mila faced challenges. Once, a group of aliens argued loudly, saying humans would never understand their traditions. Mila spoke gently to them, telling her own story. Ryan offered to help repair their water system, working all night until the job was done. The next morning, the aliens smiled and invited Ryan and Mila to a festival. Loyalty was proven not by words but by the actions they took together. Many times, Ryan missed the city and his friends. Sometimes he and Mila felt tired or afraid. But whenever things seemed hard, they remembered why they started this journey. They talked late into the night, sharing dreams for the future, and always promising to stand by each other. After many months, Ryan and Mila returned home. The city greeted them with cheers and music. Claire and Silas met them at the spaceport, waving flags of both peoples. The Queen welcomed them back with open arms. "You have done more than I hoped," she said. "You have shown the universe what loyalty can build." As life returned to normal, Ryan and Mila found new ways to help their city. They started a school for both human and alien children. They taught science, languages, and most of all, the importance of trust and friendship. Every student was encouraged to share their story, to help someone in need, and to be proud of who they were. Over time, the city became a place where anyone could find a home. Traders from distant worlds settled there. New families were formed. Festivals filled the streets with light and music. Ryan and Mila often walked through the city gardens, remembering the first days when everything was new and strange. Now, they felt only joy and peace. One evening, as the sun set and the stars appeared, Ryan and Mila sat quietly by the pond where they had first talked about loyalty. Mila leaned against Ryan, her eyes full of happiness. "We have come so far," she said softly. Ryan nodded. "I could never have done it without you," Mila smiled. "Nor I without you." They watched the stars together, knowing their bond had changed not just themselves, but the world around them. Loyalty was no longer just a word or a test. It was a living promise, shown every day in every small kindness, every choice, and every shared hope. The city slept in peace. Ryan and Mila sat together, holding hands, ready for whatever new journeys might come. They knew that as long as they had each other and the trust of their friends and family, they would never truly be alone again.